Good evening, my friend. Tonight, we are traveling far back in time, to the golden lands of ancient Egypt. Before you close your eyes, imagine standing beside the calm waters of the Nile River. The first light of dawn slowly paints the sky in soft shades of gold and blue. Palm trees sway gently in the warm breeze, and birds begin their quiet morning songs. At first glance, this world seems peaceful and beautiful. The mighty pyramids rise proudly in the distance, temples glow under the morning sun, and the great Nile brings life to everything around it. But if you truly lived here, your experience would be very different. There would be no electricity, no running water, no air conditioning, and no modern medicine. Every single day would depend on the river, the weather, and your own strength. Before sunrise, your work would already begin. Farmers would carry heavy tools into the fields, fishermen would push their small boats into the Nile, and craftsmen would prepare for another long day beneath the hot Egyptian sun. The heat would grow stronger with every passing hour. By midday, temperatures could become exhausting. Clean drinking water would not always be easy to find, and even a small illness could become dangerous. Yet for the people of ancient Egypt, this was simply everyday life. Tonight, we will slowly discover their world together, one peaceful step at a time. As the morning sun climbs higher into the sky, the gentle coolness of dawn quickly disappears. The air becomes heavy with heat, and every breath feels a little warmer than the last. There is no cool breeze from a fan, no air conditioning waiting inside a home. Shade is precious, but work cannot stop. You wake before sunrise because the day demands it. Bread, onions, and a little beer may be your breakfast, simple food that gives just enough energy to begin another long day. Around you, families prepare quietly, each person knowing their role. Farmers walk into the fields carrying wooden tools across the fertile land beside the Nile. Every successful harvest depends on the river's yearly flood. Without it, hunger could spread across entire villages. In the distance, builders continue lifting enormous blocks of stone. Their work is slow, steady, and incredibly difficult. Every movement requires patience, teamwork, and strength. Life in ancient Egypt is beautiful to imagine, but much harder to live than most of us would ever expect. As the afternoon stretches across the Nile Valley, the desert sun becomes almost unbearable. The air shimmers above the sand, and even the smallest task demands more energy than you expect. There are no cold drinks waiting nearby, only water carried in heavy clay jars that quickly grows warm under the relentless heat. Around you, life continues without complaint. Potters carefully shape fresh clay into bowls and jars. Weavers patiently turn flax into soft linen. Children help their parents gather food, carry water, and care for younger brothers and sisters. Everyone has a responsibility, no matter how young or old. The river remains the heart of everything. Boats glide quietly across its gentle waters, bringing grain, stone, and goods from village to village. Without the Nile, these communities could not survive. As the sunlight slowly softens, the busy sounds of the day begin to fade. Another evening is approaching, bringing a welcome moment of rest after hours of hard work beneath the Egyptian sky. The evening finally brings a welcome sense of relief. The blazing sun slowly slips below the horizon, and a softer golden light spreads across the Nile. For a short while, the air becomes cooler, making every breath feel easier. After a long day of hard work, families begin returning to their homes. Dinner is simple but satisfying. Fresh bread, onions, lentils, dates, and sometimes fish from the Nile are shared together. Meals are not rushed. People sit close to one another, talking quietly about the day's work and tomorrow's responsibilities. As darkness falls, the village grows peaceful. Without electric lights, the stars appear brighter than anything most of us have ever seen. The Milky Way stretches across the sky like a glowing river above the desert. Oil lamps flicker gently inside small mud brick homes, filling the rooms with warm golden light. Outside, crickets sing softly while the Nile continues its endless journey through the land. But night also brings new challenges. Mosquitoes gather near the riverbanks. Wild animals wander beyond the safety of the village. Every strange sound reminds you that life here is closely connected to nature, and nature is never completely predictable. Before sleeping, many Egyptians quietly thank their gods for another peaceful day. They hope the Nile will continue to flood, their crops will grow, and their families will remain safe. As you lie down on a simple woven mat beneath the warm night air, you begin to understand that surviving in ancient Egypt required much more than strength. It required patience, resilience, and a deep respect for the rhythm of the river that gave life to an entire civilization. Before the first light of dawn reaches the horizon, the village is already beginning to wake. Roosters crow in the distance, and the cool morning air offers a brief moment of comfort before another hot day begins. There are no alarm clocks, only the steady rhythm of nature guiding each new morning. You rise from a simple woven mat, feeling the stiffness in your back after sleeping on a hard floor. There is little time to rest. Every day brings new work, and every task is important for survival. The smell of fresh bread drifts through the village as ovens are lit with dry reeds and wood. Bakers begin their work while the sky is still painted in soft shades of blue and gold. Nearby, fishermen quietly prepare their small boats, hoping the Nile will provide enough fish for their families. Along the riverbanks, women collect fresh water in heavy clay jars, carefully balancing them as they walk back home. Children help gather firewood, feed animals, and carry baskets of grain. Even the youngest members of the village learn responsibility from an early age. As the sun climbs higher, the peaceful morning slowly transforms into another demanding day. Farmers head toward the fields, craftsmen open their workshops, and merchants begin arranging their goods for trade. Looking around, you realize that life in ancient Egypt never truly slows down. Every sunrise marks the beginning of another day filled with effort, cooperation, and hope. And after only a few days, you may already feel just how exhausting this remarkable world can be. As the days pass, you begin to understand that surviving in ancient Egypt is not only about enduring the heat. It is about living in harmony with the Nile, respecting the seasons, and accepting that nature decides much of your future. Each year, the great river rises and spreads across the land, leaving behind rich, dark soil. To the people of Egypt, this flood is a gift. Without it, the fields would dry, the crops would fail, and hunger would soon follow. Every family watches the river carefully, hoping it will bring just the right amount of water. Farmers work patiently from sunrise until sunset, planting wheat, barley, and vegetables by hand. Every seed placed into the earth carries a quiet hope for the months ahead. There are no machines to make the work easier, only simple wooden tools, strong hands, and endless determination. Around the villages, donkeys carry heavy loads, oxen pull wooden plows, and birds circle high above the fields. Life moves at the steady rhythm of nature, where every living creature has a purpose. As evening approaches once again, the golden light reflects across the peaceful waters of the Nile. The sounds of busy work slowly fade into gentle silence. You take a deep breath and realize that the river is more than water, it is the heart of an entire civilization. Perhaps that is the greatest lesson ancient Egypt has to offer. Survival here is not about fighting the land. It is about learning to live with it, respecting its gifts, and patiently following its timeless rhythm. By the middle of the week, your body begins to feel the weight of life in ancient Egypt. The excitement of arriving has faded, replaced by tired muscles, sore feet, and the constant warmth of the desert sun. Every task, no matter how small, requires patience and determination. Water remains one of your greatest concerns. Although the Nile is the source of life, its water is not always clean by modern standards. People depend on it every day for drinking, washing, cooking, farming, and travel. Protecting your health without modern knowledge is far more difficult than you might imagine. As you walk through the village, you notice the incredible skill of the craftsmen. Stone carvers shape beautiful statues with simple tools. Goldsmiths create delicate jewelry that will one day be buried with kings and queens. Scribes carefully write sacred symbols on smooth sheets of papyrus, preserving stories that may survive for thousands of years. The temples stand proudly above the city, their towering columns covered with colorful carvings and ancient symbols. Priests move quietly through the sacred halls, lighting incense and offering prayers that echo softly in the still air. As the afternoon sunlight turns golden once again, you begin to understand something important. Ancient Egypt was not built in a single generation. It was created through countless ordinary people who worked together every day, year after year, leaving behind a civilization that still amazes the world today. And as another peaceful evening approaches, you realize that surviving here is not simply about avoiding danger. It is about adapting to a way of life that is both breathtakingly beautiful and incredibly demanding. As your week in ancient Egypt slowly comes to an end, the rhythm of this remarkable land begins to feel familiar. You wake with the sunrise, work alongside the river, rest in the shade whenever possible, and welcome the cool evening with quiet gratitude. The sounds around you are no longer strange. The gentle splash of wooden boats against the Nile, the distant voices of merchants in the marketplace, the rustling of palm leaves in the warm breeze, and the soft songs of birds have become part of everyday life. You begin to admire the remarkable knowledge of the Egyptian people. They understand the stars, measure the passing seasons, build magnificent temples with astonishing precision, and record their history with careful attention. Their achievements are not the result of magic, but of patience, skill, and generations of shared wisdom. Yet, despite all their accomplishments, life remains uncertain. A poor harvest, an illness, or a change in the river's flooding could affect thousands of lives. Every day depends on balance, preparation, and hope. As the sun sets behind the pyramids for the final time, the desert sky fills with countless stars. The warm breeze carries the scent of the river, and the world grows wonderfully quiet. You close your eyes and take one slow, peaceful breath. Perhaps you could survive a week in ancient Egypt after all, but only if you learn to slow down, respect nature, work together with others, and accept that some of life's greatest lessons are found in patience, simplicity, and gratitude. Thank you for joining this peaceful journey through one of history's greatest civilizations. May your evening be calm, your dreams be gentle, and your sleep be deep and restful. Crescent Moon.